Good morning, everyone. Good morning from the beautiful Haisapa. We are at the base of the Black Hills here, right outside the NDN Collective headquarters. My name is Sarah Sunshine Manning, and I'm the Director of Communications here at NDN Collective. And what you see behind me is the first charter bus that is going to be kicking off the first leg of this caravan to DC for the 79th Birthday Action to free Leonard Peltier. Leonard Peltier's birthday is on Tuesday, September 12th. And if you've been following our social media, if you followed our live stream yesterday, you might know a little bit about what's going on here. But for those of you tuning in for the first time, I'll quickly share what's going on here. So we are here, as I mentioned, in Mni Luzahan, Rapid City, for this first leg of this caravan to DC. So building up excitement, building up, picking people up along the way. We are kicking off this caravan right here in Rapid City that goes to Minneapolis. So go to Minneapolis, pick up some more folks there. There will be a rally in Minneapolis. From Minneapolis, we go to Chicago, from Chicago to Pittsburgh, and from Pittsburgh to DC. And then on Tuesday, we'll be gathering in front of the White House, calling upon President Biden to free Leonard Peltier, who is a Turtle Mountain, Ojibwe man who's been in prison for 48 years, since 1975, wrongfully imprisoned for the death of 2 FBI agents, and has been a political prisoner, one of the longest political prisoners, Indigenous political prisoners in this system, and really is a symbol of what we're continuing to fight against today as Indigenous people, over incarceration of our people, over criminalization. We're in the state of South Dakota, where Native American people make up 9% of the total population, and yet comprise approximately 50% of the population who is incarcerated. So although Leonard has been imprisoned and a victim of that over persecution of our people for 50 years, that problem still exists today. So what we wanted to catch here this morning is people jumping on this bus, and so you'll see behind me this registration table. People are just signing waivers, not registration, signing waivers before they jump on. This bus behind me is actually already full. So we put out a call for people to join the caravan a while back, and it filled up pretty quickly. And so while we don't have room on any more of our charter buses, what we do welcome and invite people to do is you can follow along and drive along with us and join this caravan by piggybacking behind us. In addition, if you're not able to join, definitely there are ways to take action. Our team is going to drop some links in the chat right now. You can sign a petition. We have a petition that we'll drop in there from the Native Organizers Alliance, a partner organization of ours, who has a petition to free Leonard Peltier. You can also call the White House. You can also write letters, and we're asking folks to do that leading up to this event too. We need as many of your voices as possible. This has been a long time fight, and we're really feeling hopeful that the pressure that we continue to put on the Biden administration will help to free our relative Leonard, who is now 79 years old, an elder. So yesterday, if you didn't catch it, maybe we could drop that link in the chat too. We went to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, where we were present for the beginning of a departure ceremony that was on the grounds of the Jumping Bull Ranch, where the shootout took place, where Leonard was present with a bunch of other Indigenous people, members of the American Indian Movement, members of the Jumping Bull family. And we went and said prayers there, and many of the people who are going to be joining this caravan participated in a ceremony, asking for prayers, asking for support as they get on the road. So there's a lot of good feelings here this morning. As you can see, it's like sunrise. The sun just came up a bit ago. You can't see it anymore, but there's like this big, beautiful rainbow behind us, just really making people feel good about this first leg of the journey. So what we want to do is just kind of walk through, and we're going to talk to a couple of people who are going to be on this caravan. We'll also be, sharing footage, sharing stories from the caravan as it goes along too. So as I mentioned today, we're going to be going from Rapid City to Minneapolis. And at Minneapolis, we'll also have a live stream there for the first rally that will take place at our first stop. So from now, we're just going to kind of walk through and show you what's going on. And we'll find a couple of people. There's a lot going on here, a lot of people moving around. So we might not catch everyone right away, but we did want to just kind of show you this bus. This is the bus that everybody's going to be on. It's already filling up quickly. Last night we were here at the NDN Collective headquarters, and staff was preparing, filling up, coolers of drinks and snacks, loading up, cans for sage and smudge, loading up the Eagle staff that we have here, loading up flags and banners that were prepared by the Creative Resistance team during public art builds with signage and banners that will be at the event. So there will be a rally in DC starting at noon Eastern time. And there's a whole list of speakers who are going to be there. So check out our pages for more information on that. Some of those speakers include Dallas Goldtooth, who will be emceeing the event, our president and CEO, Nick Tilson, president of the NCAI, Fawn Sharp, Susan Schoen Harjo, also Nick Estes, a Lakota historian and member of the Red Nation. So we'll have a lot of really great folks there on the ground. So we hope you could check us out, follow us in the next several days. It's so important that this story is told and from an Indigenous perspective. We know that there's been a lot of non-Indigenous allies covering and supporting Leonard Peltier's fight, including Amnesty International, who is an organization who's been supporting the fight to free Leonard Peltier since the 1970s. And we're actually partnering with Amnesty International for this event. So, much thanks to our non-Indigenous allies and people who are in positions of influence that have called for the freedom of Leonard Peltier over the years. So we're going to be also joined by a lot of other press and media. We also have another Native film crew here who is doing a documentary on freeing Leonard Peltier, and we're going to try to talk to some of their producers here shortly, Jody Gillette and Jane Myers, who are also here, and with their Native film crew. So it's amazing that now we have Native people to tell the story from an Indigenous perspective, by and for Indigenous people and the masses to understand what Leonard Peltier and many of our people have endured over the years. So let's go ahead and continue walking through just a little bit, and we're going to see if we could find some of our friends to chat with a little bit more. So just going through, walking by the registration table, or I keep saying registration table, I mean, it's not registering, it is just signing waivers. We have members of the Wombly Ska team who are here as well. You can see right over here the NDN Collective headquarters, people showing up and still loading things up, carrying things into the bus. A lot of good feelings and excitement today. As I shared earlier, there was just not too long ago a beautiful sunrise. The sky was just full of gorgeous colors and beautiful pink clouds, orange sky, and then a rainbow, which we can't see at this time, but it was there. We've got some pictures we'll show you later. Okay. So this bus is going to be departing at 7 o'clock Indian time. So we're nearing the departure time, and during that time, though, we're also loading up some other vehicles that will be on the road. So a long journey. So make sure to, in your own way, to send prayers. You can be in prayer. One of the things that we touched on yesterday was the fact that one thing that has been very unique and very important about the American Indian or the Indigenous struggle for liberation, starting with going as far back into time. Whenever our people would go into battle, there was always prayer. During the 70s, during the American Indian movement and what is known as the Greater Red Power movement, prayer was so significant. There were spiritual leaders that were a part of the American Indian movement, including Leonard Crow Dog, who guided our people, our warriors at the time, in prayer and kept their spirits fortified. And so we don't underestimate the power of prayer here at NDN Collective and as a part of this larger network of Indigenous people who are fighting for justice and equity for our people to this day. So the crowd is kind of dispersing a little bit. More and more people are on the bus, but we'll see if we can grab somebody to talk to. We might have to just grab one of our teammates here. But as you can see, things are moving quickly. There is so much going on. Lots of, as you guys can imagine, when people are planning travel, it's a lot of logistics, a lot of details to plan for. You got to make sure you have everything. So, but again, the feeling is really great. It's actually starting to lightly sprinkle here, so we might have to wrap up a little soon. But we did want to bring you guys to this space to see what was going on. and to be with us in spirit. If you're not able to join the caravan itself, we're so grateful that you're here with us in spirit. If you haven't already, we always appreciate when those who are following our live stream that you let us know where you're calling in or viewing from. Where are you tuning in from? Whose Indigenous lands are you on? Are you of an Indigenous nation? We love to interact with you and engage with our people. So let's see. I'm looking for one person in particular, and I think we're just about ready to go. So we might not be able to talk to the folks who I had hoped to, but we'll give it a try anyway. So let's go try a couple more people. Here in beautiful Mni Luzahan, home of the Lakota people and many other Indigenous nations who called the Black Hills home, who had both spiritual and cultural ties to the land. We are just about ready to go. I think we'll probably be kicking this off in about 10 or 15 minutes. Pay attention and follow our social media during this time too. We'll have people posting and maybe even going live from the bus. I think there is going to actually be some live stream conversations that are going to be right on the bus. There's going to be some media and press on the bus, so that'll be fun. But we want to hear from everybody. We want to hear from youth who are on the bus, elders, people who are longtime veterans of the American Indian movement who have been a part of this battle since the 1970s. So stay tuned for more information, for more conversation, and just really important perspective from our people. And one of the things that I really love seeing here, I don't know if you're able to catch some of it, but as people are getting on the bus, there's just like so many hugs. People are feeling good and greeting each other this morning. So it's a good feeling, a lot of excitement, and anytime our people gather, there's that really good feeling. There's laughter, there is a lot of really good connection happening. Just what you're seeing right now, like the hugs, it's a really a testament to just the way that we're in community, the way that our people support each other, love each other, love our way of life, love to just be in community in this way. All right, well, we're just being patient, watching people continue to arrive. Coming off of the bus is Jane Myers, one of the producers of the documentary project for Leonard. She is also the producer, one of the producers of Pray. She is a Comanche Blackfoot producer, and we're really grateful to have her here. We had some good conversation with her yesterday about the Leonard Peltier documentary. See some other people. I think before we head out, there is going to be a quick prayer before people jump on the bus, and we'll make sure to cut the live stream at that time. But everybody's coming out right now. You'll notice people start to circle up and step outside the bus. Enjoy the weather and maybe even the sprinkles before we head out. Okay. So we have Chris here from Wombly Ska. Thank you, Chris, for being willing to do an impromptu interview. So Wombly Ska is an organization that NDN Collective has worked with quite a bit. They are a group of folks, young men, youth, people who show up for a lot of our community organizing events. They've done everything from, singing for ceremony. They've carried big boxes. They're president at our Hesapa Action Camp, and they did everything. They're so amazing. They wash dishes, like just really good guys. Really, really appreciate you all. And they're going to be present at this event, and they're going to be singing for us. They were at the event yesterday singing as well. So Chris, maybe you could first just start by introducing yourself and sharing a few words about Wombly Ska and what you all do.
My name is Chris White Eagle. I'm the executive director of Wombly Ska. We run a teen center. We have an outreach program. We have a drum and dance group. We also host a powwow every week. That's a little bit about what we do. As far as what we're doing on the action, we plan on doing anything that we get asked to do. And we're going up to fight for Leonard Peltier's freedom.
Yeah, and you reminded me of another thing too. So you guys have also been security at a lot of different local events too. So definitely a lot of young warriors that are doing a lot of good stuff for the people. And just a couple of weeks ago, we had the backpack giveaway at the Wombly Ska Center as well. And so doing a lot of things for youth, a lot of things for people. Could you tell us who's here with you? Who's a part of this group? You mentioned youth, but can you tell us some more for people who are watching? Like, who are these young men? You don't have to say names, but tell us who are they?
So a lot of these young men, they don't, they're all young men, and it's just, I don't know how to say it without saying it messed up, but I mean, they were troubled youth, and we've been working with them, and, and now they're doing positive in our community. So they kind of did a 180, you know what I mean? And now they're being security, and, you see them helping do dishes, do all that stuff, and it's just trying to be a positive role model for the younger youth that come to the center. And they've been doing a good job. There's probably like 20 of them running around here. You see them? Yeah. So it's just the youth we work with up at the center.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Chris, and we look forward to seeing you all there, seeing your presence and feeling that good feeling that you guys always bring when you sing. So thank you so much, and we'll catch up with you more in DC and on the caravan. So thanks for visiting with us.
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like we're starting to bring out the smudge can, and people are preparing for this long journey. So I think we're going to be, from what I understand, doing a quick prayer here in a bit. And when we do that, we'll make sure to turn off our cameras. But I want to visit with one other person who I've been trying to catch for the past couple of days. So we're going to see if we can go catch Jody. So I'm going to come around this way. And good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I like how you guys are like. Do you want to visit? Okay. Good morning. Good morning. So we're here with Jody Archambault and also Jane Myers, who are part of the film crew for the Leonard Peltier project. So can the two of you introduce yourselves first? And I know you're stepping back, but if you could just...
Habidakiapi, Chante Washtayanapi, Chizapi, Jody Archambault and Machapi, Iamuslaha Hemataha. I'm Jody Archambault. I'm from the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. I'm also Ogallala. My family is from Pine Ridge and all over Pine Ridge Indian Reservation as well. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Pejutahaka, the community of Kyle.
Maraweka Namanan Anisa, Jane Myers. Good morning. I'm Jane Myers. I am the producer on the Free Leonard Peltier documentary. I'm Comanche and Blackfeet.
Great. Well, thank you so much for introducing yourselves, and I'm glad we're finally able to catch up with the two of you. We were live yesterday, and we caught a glimpse of your team and the Indigenous film crew that was present on the ground. And we talked about, just in general, this decades-long fight to free Leonard Peltier, some of the storytelling that has been done in the past. We're aware of the documentary film produced by Robert Redford, Incident at Oglala, not an Indigenous-led project. Can, Jane, you talk about how this particular project is unique, now in 2023?
Yes, it's really important to have Indigenous-led projects because it's our story and we're able to tell our story from our point of view rather than people that are from outside of the Native community. And everything that I do with my work is I want to make sure it's authentic and I want to make sure that our voices are heard and it's presented in a big way and in a great way because when things are on film, it goes all across the world and it'll be living out there for a long time, longer than we will be here. So for me, just to work on this documentary with Leonard, and that's the difference because this documentary has Leonard's approval. He's doing interviews. We've been cleared to go shoot inside the prison as well. So, I feel like it's with him, not about him, not, but it's with him and it's for him.
Thank you so much, Jane. And Jody, I know you have a lot of experience on the policy level working in D.C. with the Obama administration. What do you think is important for people to know about this fight for Leonard Peltier and how they can continue to support?
So I think this is going to always be an uphill battle because of the story that the government tells. And the more that we can pierce that narrative that they're telling out there with not just our story, but the support of the people. And it has to be more than just our relatives, more than just the Native Americans. We have to reach a larger audience. And we know that when we reach a larger audience through narrative, that it builds support. And so I think that the main thing that we're trying to do with this film, with this project, is to build more supporters. And I think that with the fight to free Leonard has been something that it's long overdue. It's long overdue. And what I think is interesting is that a lot of people don't know the details of what he's actually serving time for. He's not serving time for murder, for aiding and abetting. And this is a very, very intense and excessive. This is excessive sentencing and time for aiding and abetting, and it's time. And I think that the people who are going to support this, the more that they can share their voices with members of Congress, with senators, with tribal leaders, the more tribes that we get involved, the better we are. And I think that this has to be a very, very loud push this year. We have to do it. He's getting old. We need to help him.
Yeah. I'm glad, Jody, you mentioned the actual charge of aiding and abetting. And we know, too, that there have been people who actually committed extremely heinous crimes who have been pardoned. Can you guys talk about, in the research that you've done in the build-up or the background of this documentary, in comparison, in contrast, who do we know has been pardoned or freed for far more serious and heinous crimes?
Absolutely. Who does a lifetime sentence in a maximum security prison for aiding and abetting? Well, just recently, one of the Manson people that was that were part of the Manson murders stabbed somebody 26 times, and she was released. And here we have Leonard in there, and it's just, to me, it's just in this day, how can that still be and how can that happen? So I think the timeliness, it's important because now, we were just talking about this recently, and I said we're in a position that our grandparents weren't in, that our parents weren't in, and now we have stronger voices. I mean, look at NDN Collective and what they're able to do. So I think, the time is right for us to, this is our push. This is something, for me, this is something momentous in my life to be able to be on this team because it's not just one person that's going to do it. It's going to take all of us. And just to see that everybody's rallying around his defense teams, everyone, we're all on the same page, and hopefully we can make this goal and get him free. He deserves to be walking. All he wants to do is be out breathing fresh air, walking on his homelands to live the rest of his life. His birthday is September 12th, and he's going to be 79, and he deserves to have the rest of his life the way he wants to live it. So I think it's really important. And it's going to be important when the documentary comes out because the whole world will see. The world is going to see, what a wrongdoing this is.
Yeah, thank you, Jane. And with projects like yours, with Indigenous storytelling, we're holding that mirror up in ways that non-Indigenous people don't necessarily do. Like, we get to hold the mirror up. We get to tell the story of what's been happening to our people and what continues to happen. And so before we close out, can either of you share any details about like anticipated release date? I know documentary projects take time. You've both been producers on other projects, but yeah, when can we expect this to be released?
So he has 2 windows of opportunity, and the windows are parole. He has not had a parole hearing in 15 years. So this he has in it a little over a year. Shall we cut? I don't want to. Yeah. So
We'll go ahead and cut for now. Okay, we're getting ready to do a quick prayer. So thanks so much, everyone. We'll be back later.